Hey, my name is David Cummings. I'm the founder of Atlanta Ventures and the Atlanta Tech Village. On the delegation front, my favorite approach to it is to pick 3 projects that I'm really focused on as a leader. So whatever those 3 things are that I can do that is most important for the organization, and then I do my best to delegate everything else. And so sometimes that's getting down into the weeds, but most of the time it's the 3 most forward-looking things in the organization. Where are we going? What's around the corner? Where do we need to be 1 to 3 years out from now? And so I like to have 3 things that I'm focused on, and they're typically more future-oriented. For a new leader, one of my favorite pieces of advice is there's a difference between a manager and an executive. A manager is somebody who's looking at the details and the goings-on that are happening right this moment in time. What's happening in the business? What's happening on my team? An executive is somebody who is responsible for looking around the corner. What's going to happen? What are the different dominoes that are about to fall? What are the pieces that the management team might not be seeing because they're looking more near term, and I got to look a little bit further out. So keep that in mind, the difference between a manager looking at the near term, the immediate details, and the executive who needs to look around the corner and what's coming up in the future. One of my favorite accomplishments is the Atlanta Tech Village. Back in 2012, I had the opportunity to sell a company that I had started, and I had always wanted to build a large facility for entrepreneurs, a place for entrepreneurs to increase their chance of success. And so after selling the business, I bought a building at the intersection of Lenox and Piedmont Road in Buckhead, right near exit 2 on Georgia 400. And at the time, we thought it was going to be a small, intimate place for entrepreneurs to help each other. And then quickly it became really the center of gravity for startup activity in Atlanta. And so going from a little idea to help entrepreneurs to something that took on a life of its own, much more grand than even I expected, has been one of my favorite accomplishments. My favorite piece of advice is to become a learning machine. So figure out a combination of how you like to learn, what you like to learn, and then build a system around it so that it's continually reinforced. So it could be blog posts, it could be podcasts, it could be reading books or magazines or talking to people, but come up with an intentional system. And so for me personally, I love a combination of following a bunch of different bloggers online, mostly entrepreneurs, mostly startups, and then podcasts. And so I do an hour a day of continual learning. And so my main piece of advice is figure out how to set up a system for yourself to become a learning machine and then do it for the rest of your life. Some of my favorite recent books that I've read, one is called The 6 Types of Working Genius. And so Patrick Lencioni is one of my favorite authors. He wrote the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team and The Advantage and a bunch of others. And his most recent one just talks about different working styles. So we think of, our typical personality styles like Myers-Briggs or the DISC profile or what got you here won't get you there. And so this is just another lens on it around what you enjoy doing in the work environment or in the team setting. So I'd recommend the book, The 6 Types of Working Genius.